Welcome to another like these. This is the year 2021, and right about now, at this moment, at this current time, the Lasafre volcano is under an effusive eruption. Back in 1979, when the volcano erupted the last time, we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have televisions, but how did they get the message across? In this day and age, people are still spreading gossip, comments as we call it, bacchanal. Imagine this day and age, we have smartphones, we have upgraded technology, and people are still taking false pictures and post them to put the country in a scare. Allegations are that the last time the volcano erupted, a lot of false rumors were created. One neighbor tell a neighbor in a countryside, and by the time it reached tongue out to the leeward end, it have 10 different stories. As how intentions operate at times, Allegations are that as soon as they did evacuate the people to the schools, thief man start to prowl, pickpocket, broke shop, animal thief, I saw them go on. Them didn't go down the road, go stay. They stayed in the villages and terrorized the community. Pray their last any. Imagine you being in the camps, nothing to eat, just a little bread, some water, some sugar water, man, in time. You leave your cattle, your sheep, your goat and your pig yard, and thief man the yard get feast. And yam skin and yam meat and yam up everything, and your mouth white like chalk. Imagine being in those camps in 1979, partition part of this, so as a man crack a fart, the whole place light up, ignite like flame. No form of privacy. You don't know who is who committed what offense. All you know is in some room with some people. During that last eruption, some people complained that they lost everything. Some farmers had no produce at all to go back to. No animal. Some people lost everything, I tell you. What a pain, what a sorrow. But because they had to flee, because they cared more about their life. So let's look at this new eruption. Allegations are that someone did go a mountain and come from bush. Yes, man. One of them ganja man. And saw the volcano smoking. And him run down and him tell him colleagues them. And the word spread like wildfire. All the Bobo Jed said that the volcano was smoking. He didn't know what it was. But some man act like them been there and start to spread wrong news like wildfire. Taking thing off of Google. Putting the country in fear. When the word got out to the scientists them, they said that some seismic activity was going on at the volcano. But to some of these scientists, that was just a regular thing. It is just like an earthquake with a little tremor. But they didn't know it was different this time. So they had to come and check it out themselves to tell the country what was going on. They said that the volcano was an effusive one. And it was on high alert and it could erupt at any time. So be on a 48 hours alert. Because it is on orange. Allegations started to spread like wildfire, with some saying it was because the man them been up their jail and the jail punched some kind of hole. But what they did not realize is that these things happen from generations to generations, and it probably was the time for the volcano to erupt. Some questions that the street is asking: how do we handle this volcano during this pandemic? When is the right time to move? Who gives the signal to say when to move? Do we wait on the big man up top? Or do we move on our own? Let's get into some intricate details about now. Okay. In the heart of your sleep, say for example the volcano start erupting, what do? Remember, there are gonna be tremors. And remember, ash is gonna be all over the place. Say 12 o'clock midnight, the eruption starts. How do you evacuate in the middle of an eruption when there's ash that would cover the screens of the vehicles? There would be traffic jam, cries of pain, terror. And if we as a nation do not handle this evacuation properly, then we'll have a pandemic on our hands also. Remember, this is the time of the CV. This is problems right now. If you take 100 people and put them on a truck, you don't know who have what, who is who. So we have to deal with the situation immediately. I've seen several interviews recently where someone saying that they ain't moving. Nothing is wrong with you not moving. But then again, you're going to risk your lives for animals, for material belongings. I wonder if you guys know what took place in Montserrat. Let me show you what happened in Montserrat. Before the eruption in Montserrat, everyone was asked to evacuate. But you don't know. You might get one or two hard people in between. You talk to them. Them decide to them now move. Some man had them reasons why they ain't moving. I understand, like if you're sick and you cannot be evacuated. But then again, what if you can? What would you do? Wouldn't you take the chance and leave everything behind? Render your hearts and not your garments? When the warning was given in Montserrat, 12 people decided to stay back. They must have thought that it was an eruption with lava, so they could run, speed down the hill or drive away. But it was too late. It was a volcano filled with ashes, heated ashes that burned through doors, burned off roof. Those ashes covered the entire building. Man could have walked up all on the church roof them, and they see how the church them tall. The Anglican church and the Roman church them. Look how those buildings are tall, and ashes cover them. They suffocated inside their houses. And not only ashes, sand and huge boulders as well. Imagine you there in your house and a big stone just roll down and knock everything. Like what has recently happened in Tongside. Imagine that. You dey on your bed, asleep on your queen size, and you tell yourself, me not leave my queen size behind, because me pay for it. But a big stone just come and walk with everything. You know better you pack your thing them and get ready. Guys at Nemo, I do not wish to call you out in any way. But sometimes you give out information too late. Imagine news articles were breaking the information before you. And you was to be the one giving those information. We as a nation should be updated twice per day on what's going on at the volcano. Because they say the dome is getting bigger. We are under 48 hours watch because the volcano is orange. That's not enough. We need more information. We need information like what are we going to do during this pandemic? How are we going to be in the camps when we are alongside the CV? How do we handle the pandemic? Do we do rapid testing before everyone is evacuated to the camps? What do we do? Do we quarantine first? How do we handle this pandemic? Would the schools be able to hold everyone? Are we going to set up tents to evacuate people? How do we handle the crisis? What do we do? We know that Nemo had said that there are safe zones. But what if it happens like Montserrat without safe zones? What if we run? Like the last time the ashes reached all the way in Barbados, they said. What if it reach places like Beckway? Who is safe? Tell us. Nemo, we need answers. If our villager tongues are destroyed, we have to start life all over again. Would we be granted things like asylum in the United Kingdom, like what they did for Montserrat? Are we putting those procedures in place? Grenada had said that they have beds in case we want to evacuate. But what about if we evacuate, then we end up again in a pandemic? You see, they run from a zombie about up on a shadow. Say, for example, we have the eruption where the lava flows down in rivers like Rabuka. How do people over OTR evacuate? Do we set up a special time and tell them, here's where you catch the helicopter at London Plainfield? We are Plainfield. Have we put that in place? Do we evacuate using special vehicles so that the road won't be blocked? Because, if people use their private vehicles, the service vehicles, there will be collision. Because everybody would be trying to get out. What can we do? All I'm saying right now, pandemic, eruption, we don't know the time nor the hour, but I know that we are a praying nation. And all we have to do is just pray. Because you see, we could run from the volcano and boot up on the pandemic, and the pandemic could be worse. Because remember, you have a whole load of people gathered in one place. Then that pandemic also could lead to things like cholera. Because the water gonna be dirty. All I am asking is that we put the proper measures in place, because before we board the planes, we have to present the test result to the airlines and how we do board the planes, what we would do. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you wish to see more videos like these, and pray for St. Vincent. Remember to support all small businesses, as Nemo said. Please get your flashlights nearby, your candles, your clothing, whatever you can. Get some water. Please remember to get your necessity. Don't try to grab the bigger material things. Those are not important right now. I know you paid for them. You saved up a lot. Some people spend their whole life savings just to look good in the community. Please remember, life is more important than anything else.